The cold, I mean, is this a big deal to you at all? And you're going to be, obviously, Saturday is going to be colder.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
worry
so.
about that?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, we practice in it all spring, and you know, I've done. I mean, I've played in the cold before down in Mississippi. It gets cold. It gets cold down there. I think the wind is just a bigger factor here. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's obviously an obstacle challenge it can be, but you know, I feel like I did pretty well in it.
Sure. Have you got used to the wind a little bit more than when you first started? Obviously, it's kind of always blowing here.
Yeah, you kind of learn to kind of cope with it. You know, starting in January. I mean, it doesn't stop. I feel like all year. So, you know, I was out in spring ball and try to do it in the summer too. And there was one of these days to practice in it and to get ready for it for these moments. And you know, we've played in some windy games so far, and the last one in Nebraska too.
Right.
So yeah, you learn each and every opportunity.
What was your open week like for you? What did you do? What was the kind of that mindset for you? What did you do on Saturday, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got a lot of rest in. You know, you play 8 straight weeks, and you know, I think the main goal is to get our bodies back as a group and to get some good rest in, so that you know, we're prepared for these last 4 games of our year. But you know, there is so much growth. You know, I think in productivity with this team, and you know, on the field, obviously, but you know, off the field as well.
Are you sore? Like, are you? And I know that's normal, but are you like, you know, is there aches and pains that like kind of got better over the week or not?
Yeah, I mean, I feel great. You know, I feel, you know, like I'm getting ready for week 1. My body feels good, but you know, muscles get a little tight. But, you know, of course, you know, on the bigger scale, I feel great.
What do you feel like you accomplished without maybe as many reps last week in terms of that productivity you mentioned?
Yeah, obviously you just get that rest, you know, not just physical rest, but mental rest a little bit. I think it's, you know, not bad just to get away from, you know, throwing it around a little bit so you're refreshed for this back half of the year. But, you know, I still got some good work in with some receivers. You know, obviously didn't get a lot of reps, but after practice we made sure to maximize the opportunities we got. You know, whether there's route details or you know, whatever it may be, we made sure to that we were maximizing our opportunities and to get ready for these last 4.
Big picture, you have 5 Big Ten games under your belt. Not to suggest the league you're in is any slouch of a league, but like, what would you learn about the Big Ten in those first 5 games?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great league. I mean, I think that's you know, that's a given. You know, so much tradition and history, and a lot of great teams, and you know, a lot of great physical players who will, you know, play at the next level for a long time. You know, on each and every squad. So. You know, with my first time doing it, first time really playing in such a great league, you know, you learn from each and every rep, and you know, kind of how to take advantage of certain things, certain defenses, and you know, certain play styles of how defenders play, and you just learn so much through it all to you know, gain a better feel for the game, so it slows down for you. So it's been a process, and you know, I don't feel like I'm there yet, but I'm getting there for sure. It just takes a little bit of time.
How tough was it to flush the Wisconsin game and then kind of sit on it for 2 weeks? You gotta get rid of it, but it kind of sticks with you, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's obviously not the way we wanted that to go, and it's not ideal. So it's a little bit disappointing, but you know, Coach B and his staff, you know, does a tremendous job of, you know, instilling the right mindset and also you know, staying positive and, you know, moving on. You know, you don't dwell on the past, you learn from it, but you know, if you know, we dwell on it and we just sit in our disappointment, you know, we won't take advantage of Minnesota coming up here next.
Your former schools having a great year, top 10, I think, just moved in right there. You get to watch them much? Did you get to pay attention? You communicate with those guys at all, or not?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you know, I spent 2 years there,
Right.
and you know, I have a lot of great friends there. You know, a lot of familiarity with not just Ole Miss, with Mississippi in general. So, you know, I've known that program for a long time, and you know, like I said, I have a lot of friends there. So I just enjoy watching, you know, some of those dudes that, you know, I know so well and, you know, love so much, and you know, I root for those guys. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Talk about
Coach Lenny said there's a lot of self-scouting during the bye week. What'd you learn about yourself watching the game film?
Yeah, you know, you kind of watch different types of cut-ups, different games, you know, and things like that to pull different things from those games, from those reps, and you know, I think it's you know, each and every game you know, you find little nuances that you've grown in, and you know, you find areas that you know, that you find, kind of repeated mistakes that you want to really focus on the bye week to kind of drive out. So, I'm going to put us in good positions to win. But, I think you learn the most on the field. You watch it obviously on tape and things like that. But, I learn the most by getting physical reps.
Is that also, like, is that how you build a rapport? Like, I know you've been building with your receivers since you got here, but what does the game tape or those reps kind of help inform you about what they like and for them to you what you like?
Yeah, they obviously use that information to understand what I'm good at and what they like and what I'm not good at, I guess, or what we haven't been good at and things like that. So you obviously use that and use it to your advantage to come up with game plans to maximize our strengths and minimize our weaknesses. So you have 8 games to kind of pull that information from, and they do a good job of that.
You weren't here last year, Luke, but there was a major emphasis starting in the spring with you about red zone and trying to improve what that was from last year. Are you seeing that emphasis kind of translate to the field these first 8 games?
Yeah, I think we were talking about it this morning actually with the offensive unit. I think we've done a good job of in the red zone and not just getting not getting field goals, but getting touchdowns. And so, I think my first 3 practices here in spring were strictly in the red zone. We didn't get in the open field. We made sure to make that an emphasis. So, so we could be really good at red zone scoring and maximizing those opportunities. And we have such a great menu of plays that Coach Illini has implemented for us to be successful. It's just a matter of execution, and I think we've done a good job of that so far. It's just a matter of getting there. You know what I mean? We got to get there more, and once we get there, we're pretty successful.
I asked Coach Lenny yesterday about the tweaks you make during the open week because you got more time. Is there some little things that you're going to do maybe different than you did the first 8 weeks?
I try to take one day at a time, I guess. Do whatever I think is necessary to see it better. Each day. I don't know if I approach it with like I'm gonna do something different because something didn't work, but I try to take one day at a time, and whatever is in front of me, I'm gonna maximize that opportunity and do whatever is necessary to just to be my best for these guys. And things change obviously in the bye week.
Right.
It's not the normal routine, so things are a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many areas to get better in. Whether that's in the film room or on the practice field or in my personal life too.
Maybe a odd question, but coming from the South, is this cold weather a little bit of shock to the system?
A little bit. I was here in the spring. I got here in January, so I was thrown right into it. I guess January and February was really cold, and practice throughout the spring it was pretty cold too, and the wind was blowing. So I've had a little taste of it. So it's not particularly new to me, I guess. Obviously, it's new in the season, and really playing, but it's definitely a little bit colder than what I'm used to. It's really just the wind, I guess, but it can be a shock, but this team does well, I think, in it.
Coach Lenny yesterday talked about like explosive plays have kind of overwhelmingly been a part of your touchdown drives this season. How do you marry maybe those more with just sustaining some more drives, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think a lot of our scoring drives that I think Coach B has made a big point on is the majority of our scoring drives have come off an explosive play of 15 or 20 yards or more. So I think that's kind of been our formula throughout our year. But I think it's important to establish the run and just kind of pound the rock, and if that's 4 or 5 yards at a time, and just big long play drives, that's just as fine as 5 play drives. So whatever it takes to get down there in the red zone, and we have a great red zone formula to really score touchdowns. And but we want to create explosives, but if it takes 15 play drives like we've done before, that's just as fun.
Isaiah's not a secret in this league anymore, Luke, but do you feel like over these last 4 games you have to be intentional with trying to get him involved in the way you can?
Yeah, 100%. I think, like you said, there's no secret that he's one of the best players in this league and really in the country. So, teams prepare for him. When they come up with a game plan, they circle him and try to figure out ways to stop him. But and we know that too. But he's such a special player and so dynamic in space with the ball in his hands that no matter what the defense tries to scheme up, try to stop him, he's gonna find ways to create explosives and put us in plus territory and things like that. So it's definitely an emphasis in the game plan and in every game plan that we have to just put the ball in his hands, and we're going to try to do that as best we can these last 4.
You played now in SEC and the Big Ten. What are the things that are different? Or is there anything different between the two leagues?
Yeah, I think there's the environment where you play in,
Okay.
North and South. That's obviously a difference, but two just great leagues who just put out a lot of great players and a lot of great coaches too, and historic programs. So there's similarities there, but I think each program's so different.
Sure.
Even in the SEC or in the Big Ten. Yeah, just 2 great leagues.
How